This is MotorTown Behind the Wheel, a solo dev, early access indie PC game from South Korea that was my favorite new racing game of 2024, and I've barely even done any of the racing yet. Some of you might have heard about this game already. It's actually been in early access on Steam for 3 years now, with very regular updates throughout that time, and I've had a couple of community members suggest it to me over those years, but always kind of dismissed it. At a quick glance, it just didn't grab me. However, this was a great lesson in not judging a book by its cover, because I have never been more wrong about how much this game would draw me in. It's gonna be hard to give a quick overview of what MotorTown is, but if I may try, MotorTown is like a GTA RP server without the guns, crossed with a bit of MudRunner or SnowRunner and Test Drive Unlimited. Does that sum it up well enough? No? Let me explain a bit more. So this is a huge open world sandbox. You can get out of your car and walk around whenever and wherever you want. The game can be played in single player or with friends through drop-in multiplayer, or on public or private dedicated servers that you can join or easily create yourself. There is a massive variety of cars to drive and things to do in this game, and this encompasses the main gameplay loop. Not only are there a bunch of sports cars ranging from budget hot hatches up to rare exotics and tuners built for racing, but there are also box trucks and garbage trucks, buses and semis and scooters and motorcycles, police cars and taxis, tow trucks, and so much more. And every one of those vehicles has a purpose, because as I hinted towards right away, this isn't just a racing game. In fact, racing is just one small aspect of what you do in MotorTown. You can be a bus driver, a taxi driver, a police officer, a garbage man, a tow truck operator, a semi-truck driver, a pizza delivery driver. I mean, the list goes on. If it involves vehicles, you can probably do it. And each one of these careers is unique and has some depth to it. The vehicle customization is also super impressive. Tuner cars get a good handful of aero options, engine swaps are available for tons of different vehicles, there is a very high level of suspension and wheel fitment customization, there's a livery editor, and oh man, just wait until I show you the underglow system. In MotorTown, you can also own and customize houses, you can start and manage a company, there's a massive interconnected economy that every player has an effect on, there's an in-game radio that pulls from real radio stations, and of course, there is some racing. It's essentially just one of the many jobs you can do in MotorTown. Like I said, this is a hard game to summarize, and I myself just started playing it a couple months ago on stream with the community, but I've been having so much fun with it, and now that I feel like I've gotten a decent grasp on the basics of the game, I wanted to bring that over to the YouTube side of things and show it with you guys, because I definitely think this is a game that deserves more attention. MotorTown does a lot of everything and manages to do so without feeling shallow in its mechanics. It's not just a mile wide and an inch deep. All of the systems intertwine with each other and rely on each other, so everything feels like it matters towards the overall progression of your character and the world itself. I know most of you probably just want to hear more about the racing and car customization, and I promise I'll get there, but I want to just give this simple example first that I think really explains how the world of MotorTown works. Let's say you just started out, headed over to one of the dealerships nearby, and saw a lovely R32 Skyline. Well, you do need to level up your character so that you can drive that car, and you'll need to make the money to buy it. So for some cash, you can, let's say, pick up a pizza delivery job, one of the better early game income sources. You could use your starter car, but it's not the best choice for a lot of reasons. Fuel efficiency, size, storage space. You'll make more money in a smaller vehicle that can hold more pizzas. So the shop has a moped you can rent, but that means they'll take a cut of your profits for using their vehicle, meaning that eventually you'd want your own. You walk in to start taking orders and can make some decent starter cash as long as you're getting pizzas to those hungry customers within the time limit. And as you continue to take orders, you might see that you're getting a town bonus. This is a modifier that increases as you or anyone else does work that helps to improve the economy and increase the population within that town. The more that players contribute to the town's economy, the larger your town bonus is when you complete a job in that area. So it benefits you to keep working in the same area for a while. Now, you also might notice that you aren't making too much money per pizza. So what you could do is deliver ingredients to the pizza shop in order to improve the quality of their pizzas. They need cheese and meat, which is delivered in boxes. Well, your starter car and the scooter can't really haul those well, so you should buy or rent another vehicle to haul ingredients. Say you grab a K-truck with your profits from delivering pizzas so far and head over to the dairy factory. From there, you can take cheese boxes and deliver them to the pizza shop, but you'll notice that you could also deliver that cheese to a supermarket in town, which would in turn promote population growth, which would increase the amount of money you could make from pizza deliveries. So you'll want a lot of cheese going to multiple places, but in order for the dairy factory to be supplied with enough milk to make cheese, they want deliveries of milk from the ranch. So you can head there, and in order to ship the milk, the ranch needs fuel and pallets from the warehouse. So you need a bigger vehicle that can haul lots of pallets, or maybe even just a trailer. And in order for the warehouse to produce those pallets, they need logs from the lumber mill. So you should rent or buy a logging truck and start a logging career so that the lumber mill has logs, so that the warehouse has pallets, so that the ranch can deliver milk, so that the dairy factory can produce cheese, so that the supermarket can grow the economy, and so that the pizzeria can combine that cheese with meat to produce premium pizzas so that you can deliver pizzas for more money so that you can afford an R32 Skyline. See folks, pizza delivery is a simple job, but really don't be overwhelmed by it. This is a great example of how the entire game is an interwoven network of systems and supply chains, but it does all happen in the background too, which I think is the beauty of how MotorTown works. You can boost the whole supply chain in order to increase efficiency and profits, but the supply chain still does work without you doing every or any leg of the journey. You don't need to get involved with it, but it's there if you want to. You can easily rent just about any vehicle or trailer you would need for a job, and can even buy vehicles and assign NPCs to work them. So for your simple pizza delivery job, you could have a fleet of customized box trucks and semis driven by actual NPCs in the world that are improving the supply chain and town economy for you. And of course, in an online server, other players could work different sections of that supply chain themselves. It's all exactly as involved as you want it to be. If you just want to deliver pizzas in your tricked out K-truck while listening to Eurobeat and not worrying about anything else, then you totally can. But if you want to dive deeper into those systems to improve your income and maximize efficiency, that depth is there too. I'm obviously not going to explain every career in this video, but they really all have some level of detail like this, and they all feel unique and they're all fun. Now, let's talk about the actual driving gameplay, because of course that's probably what will draw people in the most, more so than complex pizzeria supply chains. Simply put, driving in MotorTown is great. It reminds me a lot of Art of Rally, where it gives off the impression of simplicity, even though there really is a lot of physics happening. And it results in a handling model that I would comfortably describe as Simcade. It's intuitive, consistent, and satisfying without being too easy or too challenging. With all the different shipping and hauling jobs in the game, obviously weight and suspension play a big role in the handling model, but that does, of course, also then apply to the sports cars. A heavy, soft muscle car feels like a heavy, soft muscle car as it swings the rear end around corners, whereas lightweight coupes with stiff suspension feel snappy and have great grip and turn-in. It's fun to drive all of the vehicles in this game, from a go-kart up to a garbage truck. You can even change driving modes on the fly. There's comfort mode, sport mode, and drift mode that all have significant changes on the handling and steering response. Like I mentioned earlier, there's essentially a racing job. It's just one of the many things you can do for work in Motortown. There's racetracks scattered all over the map with time trial events, and then there's even global leaderboards with rotating time trials so you can challenge the other players in the game for monetary rewards. But you can also set up races with players in your server. There's a full route creator. You can set your own checkpoints and set up custom car restrictions like limiting the engine type. And like with anything else in Motortown, if you want to just focus in on the racing side of the game, you kind of can do that. Although realistically, the racing is, I think, sort of meant to be the fun endgame thing you do to burn away all your money once you've already built up some serious cash, perhaps through your pizzeria empire. The vehicle customization also really shines in Motortown, and this was something that initially drew me in a lot. A lot of the sportier cars get body kits and wings, whereas the utility vehicles get things like roof racks or trailer hitches. Every corner of the car also gets its own customization, so if you want, you could have a different rim on all four wheels. You can also individually place suspension components, wheel spacers, brake pads, and rotors, and more. So when it comes to, say, tuning a drift car, you can have different pads on the front and rear to have the wheels lock up differently under braking. Or in a pickup you would use for towing, you can stiffen the rear suspension and improve the front brakes and get a bigger radiator to help the car tow better and prevent it from overheating. There's a ton of freedom and depth with the upgrade system, and like I promised, I need to show you how the underglow and lighting works, because it's unlike anything I've ever seen. You start by heading to an auto parts shop. You can pull onto the lift, and it helps to raise your car if you'll be working under it. Then head into the store itself, and you can see a few different selections for underglow. There are short and long variants of red, green, and blue. Buy whichever ones you want, head back to your car, and now you can place this neon strip literally anywhere on the vehicle in any orientation. Put it on the roof, put it on the hood, put it inside the wheel well, or obviously put it anywhere underneath the car. Then once you do this, you can assign that light to any function. So you can have the underglow come on when you turn on your headlights or your brights, or whenever you brake, or whenever you turn on your left turn signal. You can even map your underglow to your interior cabin light if you want. It's completely up to you. This is by far the most insanely customizable system I've ever seen. Now, as it stands, unfortunately, we do only have solid light RGB color options, but you can double up and put two strips right on top of each other to create more colors. So on my K-Truck, for example, I stacked red and green to create yellow, and that works just fine. Now, this lighting system isn't even just for underglow either. If you want a light bar for off-roading or something, you can do the same thing. Buy a light bar from the shop, put it literally anywhere you want on the car, and then assign it to any function. Motortown is full of great features like this. For another example, I just have to show off. You know how Forza Horizon has a drone mode? That's basically a height-locked free cam you can access from the pause menu. Well, step aside Horizon, because in Motortown, you head to a drone store, buy one from their range of available options, and then get an actual drone in your inventory that can be launched and flown with different speed and flight modes with a functioning battery indicator. It's just an actual drone in the game. For another cool feature example, you can buy campers or RVs in the game, and they actually function as mobile homes. You can park them anywhere in the world and then use them as fast travel points, which can be a a massive quality of life feature for certain careers. Now, I haven't even covered the housing system yet, and I've actually just started to get into it on our server, but here's how it works. You can shop around and purchase a plot of land somewhere on the map, then select buildings to build on that land, at which point sometimes you need to deliver materials to the construction site to actually construct the building. And then once it's built, you can go to various shops around the world to buy furniture that can be loaded up and then freely placed anywhere on your property. For example, right now there's still a holiday event going on where you can do various jobs for Santa. And at his workshop, you can buy tons of Christmas decorations to fill your house with, like a fireplace or Christmas lights or a unique Christmas themed bed that's actually functional. Sleep in motortown servers essentially works like Minecraft. And I'm so excited to dive into this whole housing system more because I love stuff like this, and really the only other racing game to ever do it has been TDU. And I would like to see Motortown expand on it with more decorations, more house styles, and more land plots around the map. So for being a game that I initially blew off as being just a sort of strange Roblox with cars project that I had no interest in, Motortown has blown me away with how incredibly deep and rewarding and just pure fun it can be. This past month or two streaming Motortown with my community has been some of the most fun I've ever had streaming. We can all just hop on to our own dedicated server and do whatever we want that day. There's always something new to look forward to, always another goal to set, and if you're interested in joining us, by all means, stop by the stream and we'll help you get set up. If you're interested in the game at all, actually, there is a completely free demo on Steam that lets you try out a bunch of what Motortown has on offer. So there's really no reason not to give this a look. Now, of course, it's important to remember as a final note that this is still an early access solo dev project. And even though I've said pretty much nothing but positive things about it this entire video, it is worth remembering that the game can be rough around the edges in some areas. Some features, especially surrounding racing, are not fully implemented yet, and a lot of the game just lacks that AAA polished feel. But with all that said, there is still so much to enjoy in Motortown. In many ways, this really is the open world social car PG that I've always wanted. And there's so much more to the game that I either didn't bring up in this video or just haven't even experienced yet myself. It's been an amazing game so far, and I feel like I've just scratched the surface. There will definitely be more Motortown content on this channel in the future. And if you want to catch up on what we've been doing on the server, we will be uploading cut down stream VODs to my second channel in the near future. So folks, check out the Motortown demo for free, and if you like it, grab the game, hop into our stream server, and help us build the hotline hauling empire. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.